Ascent Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Wealth Habits: 6 Ordinary Steps to Achieve Extraordinary Financial Freedom by Candy Valentino. Narrated by Candy Valentino. Introduction. Have you ever bought a book about money, personal finance, or wealth and realized that it's basically pep talk with no actual advice? Pages and pages are littered with the same basic motto of believe you'll make money and you will, over and over and over again. You get through the first 70% of the book thinking surely it will get better eventually, without it ever getting better. By the end of the book, if you get to the end, you realize there wasn't a drop of practical advice on how to make more money, how to keep more of what you make, or how to become financially free. If that's you, I feel you. Think and get rich will only take you so far. You also have to do and get rich to actually become wealthy and financially free. You can't sit on the couch and think, I'll have financial freedom, I'll become wealthy, and not actually do anything about it. You don't need another book filled with a bunch of regurgitated, fluffy talking points to be convinced that you should build wealth. You already want it. What you need to know is how to get there. Wealth Habits teaches you just that, the habits anyone can develop and use to build real, lasting wealth. There are dozens of great books out there that will give you motivation, inspiration, and encouragement. That's great if you want to be pumped up and motivated, but don't want the actual steps to become wealthy and build financial freedom. Wealth Habits is your roadmap, a book of actionable steps to get off the hamster wheel of work to pay bills once and for all. Your thoughts and beliefs about money are a part of building wealth, but it's not the only part. Chocolate chip cookies need chocolate chips, but that's not the only thing they need. It's simply one part of the recipe, and you still need other crucial ingredients. Who am I to help you build wealth habits? There are loads of books written by authors with PhDs, MBAs, and all the other letters in the alphabet. I don't have any of those. I haven't studied a specific topic for the last 10 years. I lived it for my entire life and have been applying it on my own for more than 25 years. I was 19 when I started my first business. But my life experience up until that point was growing up in a little white trailer with my 2 teenage parents in a rural blue-collar town with a population of 2,000. It goes without saying that I didn't have a rich family to teach me lessons about money and building wealth, yet I still found my way to being financially free. And that's the exact reason why I know that anyone who picks up this book, regardless of what's in your bank account, regardless of where you live, regardless of the family you grew up in, and regardless of your current circumstance in life, can build wealth too. That includes you. I've built several multi-million-dollar businesses and have bought, renovated, and flipped countless real estate properties in multiple states, acquired residential and commercial rental properties, and built a multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio with no money, no degree, no corporate background, and no rich parents. So often I hear from people looking for some flashy magic bullet answer. I can see them wanting me to tell them the one secret that will unlock riches for them. Here's the one secret, the truth. I didn't do anything extraordinary. I just did a lot of ordinary things. No magic bullet, no earth-shattering invention, no perfectly timed investment, just ordinary, normal things that anyone can do, including you. That's my secret to success, and it's the secret upon which this book is based. What this book is really all about. This is not a flashy book. It's a gritty book, one that will teach you how to do those ordinary things really well to create, grow, and retain wealth over time. You can do the same by following the 6 proven wealth habits I developed and followed in my own ascent to wealth. Here are a few things I'll cover as they relate to you creating financial freedom. How the BS you hear could be keeping you broke. How to develop multiple streams of income. How to build a real business and make more money. How to pay less in taxes and keep more of what you make. How to score with the hat trick of real estate investing. How self-education pays financial dividends. How to protect your finances and your family. How to stop working and retire early and rich. How to recession-proof your life and your investments. How contribution creates real wealth and the science behind it all. Not only can you build wealth with these habits, but they are also crucial for protecting yourself and your family against the unavoidable twists and turns of economic and industry cycles. One more thing before we start: how to best use this book. Before we begin, I want to give you a couple tips on how to get the most out of this book. First, this isn't a book of concepts and ideas to ponder. It's a roadmap to creating financial freedom. The 6 wealth habits have separate steps and tools within each section and chapter. They can all be used together or can be followed separately. There is going to be a lot of information, so if you don't quite get something on the first read through, reread that section or chapter, because repetition is the secret to building any skill. Wealth Habits is about your financial future, not your financial past. We will talk about all of the things to do now, not the things you did or didn't do. So if regret or shame pops up, drop them at the door so we can move forward towards the life you deserve. For anyone who desires financial security and, ultimately, financial freedom, creating wealth habits is no longer a luxury. It's a necessity. When you don't apply wealth habits, you run the financial risks that come from relying on the other, bad or ineffective habits most Americans have that keeps them on a perpetual hamster wheel and ultimately broke. These wealth habits are the not-so-obvious secrets of how the wealthy become and stay wealthy, which unfortunately isn't taught to the masses. The good news is that it is not magic. It is not a secret, and it's not even complicated. It's time to learn how to apply these wealth habits in your life and join the movement by taking control of your future and creating the financial freedom you deserve. Now let's get started. Wealth Habit 1: Growing your way to wealth. Chapter 1: How the BS you hear could be keeping you broke. As I said in the introduction of this book, Think and Get Rich will only take you so far. You also have to do and get rich to actually become wealthy and be financially free. Wealth Habits teaches you the tools to build real, lasting wealth, but you can't start the journey towards financial freedom if you are dragging around BS beliefs about money and wealth. Which is why this chapter is first. I can give you all the action steps to get wealthy, but I would be doing you a huge disservice if we don't address your thoughts and your inherent beliefs first, because that is the driver to key financial decisions we make every day. Increasing your financial intelligence can solve many of life's problems. Without this kind of knowledge, we are doomed to repeat the pattern of work to pay bills. And although there is a science to being wealthy, it first starts with an idea to change, an idea to stop running in the rat race, an idea to break through all of the BS passed down or picked up about money and start getting the education to build wealth. But here's the thing. Unless you grew up in a magical environment with wealthy parents who had financial wisdom, no one knows this stuff. So if you've ever beaten yourself up for making this decision or not making that decision, I shouldn't have sold that house. I should have bought that stock. I shouldn't have hired that person. I should have left that relationship sooner. I shouldn't have, I shouldn't have, I shouldn't have. That stops today. You didn't know what you didn't know. And I get it. I was right there with you. Growing up with blue-collar teenage parents, money was often scarce, and the conversation about financial literacy was non-existent. I used to define the rich by anyone who had an upstairs to their house, a fireplace to hang Christmas stockings, or those who went on a beach vacation every summer. I had a friend in school who I thought was the definition of rich. Her house had an upstairs and a basement. She had an in-ground pool, and she took vacations with her whole family. Both of her parents had degrees. One was a teacher, and the other was in sales, and her dad drove a new Cadillac. You get the gist. But if you look at someone else with more money than you, and it makes you feel less in any way, you're getting caught in a scarcity mindset, which is a common negative mindset about money. The perception that earning more or having more means that we have enough or are enough is a mindset even yours truly got caught up in my early 20s. Achieving financial freedom will only come from seeing wealth for what it is, attainable. It is having the understanding that wealth is available to you too, as it will never be attained from the fear of scarcity. Scarcity and lack holds you hostage to where you are and keeps you broke in the process. When our basic needs are met, currently estimated at $75,000 a year, studies show that making more money doesn't buy incremental returns for living a satisfying life. Regardless of how much money or how many possessions we have, the important part is how we relate to what we have. That is key in this first step. Remember that what we appreciate and that which we focus on grows. Conversely, that which we fear and that which we focus on also grows. When our attention goes to what is lacking, we base our lives on the feelings of insufficiency, inadequacy, and incompleteness, and thus we start to feel more of each. We can set any amount of money in our heads, anywhere from $5,000 to $500,000, and imagine that if only we had that much more money, just that much more, then we would have enough, be happy. But what we don't realize is we once thought the exact same thing when we had $5,000, $50,000, or even $500,000 less than we currently do now. As another example, suppose we establish that if you received a 10% pay raise or earned 10% more in your business, then you'd have enough to be cared for and comfortable. And abracadabra, let's say you got that. Now imagine for a moment that you find out a coworker received a 25% pay raise, or your friend who started in business at the same time as you increased their net income by 25%. All of a sudden, your 10% just isn't enough. No one argues that more money can reduce problems or minimize the financial stress and anxiety in our lives, but approaching the pursuit of more wealth from a posture of scarcity can create more stresses or worsen existing issues. This type of negative emotional stacking can actually keep you away from building wealth. If you've ever experienced money-related stress about the aspects of earning, giving, spending, saving, or losing it, you need to carefully examine the beliefs you have and take a look at your overall approach to money. The key to a healthier, more successful approach is to appreciate what you have while going after that which you truly desire. The way to live a truly rich life is by finding the intersection of appreciation and ambition. Your brain is not pre-wired for happiness, abundance, or wealth. It's your job to rewire it. The good news is you get to choose which emotions you want to experience the most. And because your unconscious beliefs drive your emotions, you first need to address the beliefs you have about money. If you feel anxious around money now, you're always going to feel that way, no matter your success, how much money you make, or how much wealth you create. Abundance is a mindset, a belief, a chosen perspective. It's not a dollar amount. Cultivate gratitude for what you have now, and everything you achieve will feel like an immense bonus. The truth of the matter is that more than 70% of the world lives on $2 a day. Your worst nightmare is their greatest possible dream. Lack of appreciation for what you already have is the one thing that will not only make you truly poor, but it will keep you there. Unconscious beliefs about money and the wealth habits you lack will ultimately keep you from the life you want. There is science-backed proof of how the mind plays a role in your wealth and in your overall financial future. And this book wouldn't be complete without addressing its role in the big picture of building wealth habits. However, it's only part of it. Online marketing and social media are full of coaches, gurus, and marketers talking about money mindset and visualizing your abundant future. All the while they rent instead of owning their house, just started their first business, or haven't built any assets. So although this book is certainly not about money mindset and more about the real tactics that create financial wealth and financial freedom, I would fail you and your goals if I didn't include it, because it does matter. A poor mentality will give you a broke reality. I believe it was Jim Rohn who said, "You are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with." So if you hang out with the negative Nancys and the broke Bobs of the world, if you are friends with gossiping or broke people, those who live beyond their means and don't invest in themselves by building wealth habits, you too will end up adopting those behaviors. Part of growing your bank account requires you to grow your mindset, change your beliefs, and develop new habits. I've worked with thousands of people, spent thousands of hours reading and researching, and it is undeniable the science and psychology of how your finances and the money that you have are directly related to your thoughts and emotions around them. What you think about money, how you think about people with money, and the emotions you have tied to money will be a subconscious driver either toward or away from what you desire. It is worth spending some time to become aware of the thoughts and the emotions directly tied to money for you, because without self-awareness, your subconscious wiring will override your conscious desires and rational thinking, and those old thoughts and beliefs, which aren't serving you, will end up driving your actions, behaviors, and habits. And here's the deal. There's no shame here. You are not alone. This is a huge piece for a lot of people. Some of the common fears around money are not having enough, looking stupid, appearing greedy, being exposed, and having guilt or even shame. You might feel guilty because you have more than your friends, or guilty that your money came too easily, or guilty that you desire more. You could feel shame realizing you avoid your finances, you spend too much, you buy stuff when you're unhappy, or that you simply don't have enough. Negative emotions around money is something that needs to be addressed and changed because it creates a vicious, unconscious cycle that no matter how many of these wealth habits you practice, if you don't fix the negative, you'll keep coming back to those emotions, thoughts, and feelings around money, and it will sabotage your efforts. Here's how it unfolds. Let's say you're sitting down and taking a hard look at your financial situation, and you're starting to create an investment plan. Just thinking about this increases your anxiety because you're afraid you're not going to face the reality, or you have nowhere near enough saved, or you're spending far too much. That anxiety then leads you to avoidance. You postpone it, you delay, you distract yourself with some shiny object in the moment, and then, because you're distracted and postponed the task, your anxiety drops, which then gives you a positive reinforcement for the avoidance of the behavior. And then you repeat this cycle over and over instead of doing what you know you need to do. The only way to break the pattern is to confront the dreaded task. You are stronger than the whims of your brain. Know that. The way you break through is to continue to face the facts and move forward with the task. Your anxiety will temporarily increase. However, if you stay with it, it will steadily decline. You have to tolerate the short-term pain to achieve long-term gain. No matter the family you grew up in, every family has its own psychology of money. What is talked about, what shouldn't be talked about, who is in control of the money, what responsibilities are assigned to whom, how important money is, what thoughts and beliefs they have about money or people who have money. The subject of money is where your family and childhood influences never end until you end them. Money stories are always a part of a family's identity, whether conscious or unconscious. Perhaps your father had a bad business deal and almost lost everything. Perhaps your mother was a brilliant businesswoman and her ideas were stolen, which then caused her to be cheated out of her financial freedom. Their beliefs and habits already exist, and they've been passed down to you. The goal is to identify the beliefs you have and see if they're giving you the financial future you want. If they aren't, we're going to change them. Regardless of what negative associations you've learned about money, and yes, they have all been learned, here's the truth. Money simply magnifies a person's virtues and flaws. So if you're a greedy, immoral person, obtaining wealth will magnify those bad traits. But if you're a good person, an honest, caring, and giving person, money will magnify those traits and give you the ability to help more people. Here is a scientific fact about money. You can rewire your brain and choose a different script about how you think about money, not figuratively, literally. While most of the neurons in our brain have been with us since birth, and age does take a toll, our brains still make new neurons. This process is known as neurogenesis. As reported in Scientific American, a 2019 study published by the journal Nature Medicine looked at the brain tissue of 58 recently deceased people and found that the adult brain can indeed generate new neurons. Your cells in your body are also constantly replaced and made new. In fact, our entire body, every cell in our entire body is new every 6 months, which means you can change your beliefs, your thoughts, or your body based on your habits and develop an entirely different structure. Your brain can rewire itself. Neuroplasticity, or the brain's ability to recognize and change itself throughout a person's lifetime, is truly a remarkable thing. Research published in the journal Nature Neuroscience suggests a person's brain activity is as unique as their own fingerprints. To reach their conclusions, scientists use functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, to create connectivity profiles, which allowed researchers to identify the brain activity of more than 100 individuals. Learning about individual brain connections offered scientists incredible insights. There is science, real data that proves, regardless of what you've been told, regardless of the amount of debt you have or the income you currently make, you too can use wealth habits and change your financial future. Now let's get to the next step. Chapter 2: 4 Common Beliefs Keeping You Broke. Throughout this book, we'll be addressing the very tactical, tangible steps of wealth building, and I'll be sharing the specific, necessary, and actionable steps that lead to financial freedom. Of course, there are lots of tangible reasons that keep you broke: overspending, not investing, racking up bad debt on depreciating assets, and you may be aware of those. But there are many intangible habits that come into play as well. I can teach you all the tangible steps that will make you wealthy, but if we don't address a few of the intangible beliefs most people carry around with them, we'll be swimming upstream together. The faster we break these beliefs, the sooner we get on our way to building the wealth habits. So let's jump into it. There are 4 common beliefs keeping you broke. Broke belief 1, scarcity. Scarcity is a belief that wealth is limited, that you can run out of money or will never have enough. The term scarcity mindset was coined by the author Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. As discussed in a recent Business Insider article, there are 2 main facets: the thought that wealth and opportunities are limited, and the fear that one will never have enough. A scarcity mindset can also come with an obsession with what one is lacking. This creates a tunnel vision of sorts, making it more difficult to move forward and achieve financial goals. The article continues, the opposite of a scarcity mindset is an abundance mindset, the view that there is limitless wealth and opportunity in the world. You can overcome the scarcity mindset and shift your perspective to abundance by making small, daily changes. Number 1, build your knowledge. Learning more and expanding your knowledge about personal finance, investing, and wealth building is a path toward empowerment as well. I disagree with the phrase you commonly hear, knowledge is power. Knowledge isn't power, it's potential power. It only creates power when you do something with it. Knowledge does, however, create confidence. When you have more knowledge about your finances, investing, and knowing how to build wealth, you're able to move forward more confidently. Number 2, direct your thoughts. If you find you are getting less than desired results in any area of your life, ask yourself, are my thoughts about this based on fear? If they are, then ask, what do I need to do to shift my mindset to abundance right now? The sooner you can gather all of the fear-based thoughts you have and rewrite the scripts on each, the faster you'll be on your way to living consistently in that abundance mindset. Number 3, train your focus. The enemy of abundance is a narrow focus. A Harvard study found that when people focus intently on one thing, other possibilities right in front of them go completely unnoticed. It's further proof that what you focus on really matters. Opening your mind to focus on what's possible instead of what's probable creates the abundance mentality. Number 4, choose your words wisely. The language you use, what you tell yourself, what you say about others, all shapes your reality. Are you using language of scarcity or abundance? When you are engaged in conversation, notice what you are saying. When you find yourself talking to someone or yourself about something you can't have or aren't able to do, even when it's what you actually want, stop yourself and have the courage to say, thank you for listening to me, but I want to take that statement back because that is a scarcity view. Then say what is possible from an abundance mentality. Number 5, celebrate daily. Make it a point to track daily achievements. Oftentimes, we don't see how far we've come or the amount of growth we've already had. So it's important to take time to celebrate the small wins. Just like wealth and investing, your achievements and success compound over time. It's why studies show that the greatest portion of your wealth will be made from age 50 to 60. Your knowledge, your wealth, your life experiences, and the data you accumulate over time all compound and lead to greater returns. Broke belief number 2, future condition. Future condition means how things will be or when things change in the future. This is often an if or when scenario. When I have more money, I'll start investing. If I make more money, I'll save for my emergency fund. When I have a better job, I'll start a retirement account. If I knew more people...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?